All right. Good evening, everyone. I hope it stays that way overnight. I don't know how good of an overnight it'll be, but that's what I'm here to talk about. So, welcome in, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me on this late evening. Unfortunately, I think it won't be a complete sound sleep tonight. We'll talk about that here in just a second. But again, we are into springtime. We are into the unofficial start of severe weather season. It started on Saturday, and it's March the 3rd, and Mother Nature is not wasting a lot of time getting us, giving us, I should say, some potential for severe weather. So let's get right into it. All right, so this is kind of an overview of what we can expect. We'll start to go into the details here in a second, but this is an after midnight event, probably closer to sunrise. There's going to be a little bit of debate about that. We'll talk about that. So this is a classic severe weather setup in a squall line sense. And while typically that's not a big concern for tornadoes, hey Angela, I'm playing with some new stuff, so I'll throw some chat up there every now and then so everybody can see it. I'm glad you made it home safe. No tornadoes, but you came home to tornadoes, Angela. What's going on with that? But anyway, so the storms could be severe. I'll just put it that way. So, nope, that didn't work. Let me get back to this. There we go. Okay, I'm playing around with stuff. I'm sorry. So, as the time frame shows here, that you could see, you probably won't see much until after 3 a.m. for most of us. You can see this upper right graphic. It's 2 to 4 a.m. Everything's still west of us. 4 to 7, you have this dry line coming through between 4 and 7 a.m. And then after 10 o'clock, we should be done with the thunderstorms. Whether uh, you know, we got to get through it first. So, what are the things we're concerned about? As I've always liked to say, the Storm Prediction Center does a really good job in highlighting the different types of severe weather hazards we have. And so, definitely going to go over that. That's tornadoes, that is large hail, and that is damaging winds greater than 58 miles an hour, 60 to round up. So let's look at what they're talking about with that. All right, so this is the latest severe weather outlook that they issued earlier this evening, about 7 o'clock, and this is the overall categorical risk. You can see in the orange there that's the enhanced risk. That's level 3 out of 5. That's when you start to get into some, maybe I better pay attention. Most of Dallas Fort Worth is in the yellow, which is a slight risk. That's 2 out of 5. But the enhanced risk is close enough to where I think that we all should be concerned about what could happen overnight. Now, specifics, tornado risk. This is in the yellow is a 15% chance of tornadoes. Again, kind of brushes the northwest part of the metroplex. The vast majority of that hopefully will stay in Oklahoma, and this is not expected to be the supercell isolated storm tornado. It's not expected to be that. It's expected to be the QLCS tornado, or in more layman's term, a spin up tornado, and that's where you get these tornadoes that spin up on the line, kind of kink in the line, as we say. They're very hard to predict. They typically go very fast, and by the time they're warned, no knock on the weather service, but by the time they're warned, they're past your location. Hopefully, they didn't do anything. So it is something that's very difficult to predict, and what makes it worse is that it's going to be during overnight hours. So the hail risk is not really a risk for our area. We're gonna look at the radar here in just a second, but hail is just not a concern. Not saying it couldn't hail, but we are not talking bigger than quarters, most likely. Maybe half dollar, but that's going to be isolated. Our way bigger concern is wind and potential spin up tornadoes. And speaking of that, that's where we get the wind outlook, the severe wind outlook, and you can see in the red that's a 30% chance. Now remember, it's always 30% chance of seeing, in this case, a wind gust of severe magnitude within 25 miles of a point anywhere within that red. So again, as you can tell, the enhanced risk follows the severe wind outlook risk in the sense that most of it is northwest of Dallas Fort Worth. But again, we are close enough to where that is not really an issue. So with that, let's see what's going on right now out in the real world. Okay, so we do have a tornado watch that is northwest of Dallas Fort Worth. Dallas Fort Worth being right here. And then in the yellow, it's a tornado watch. I like the red, but this radar does yellow for tornado. And we're gonna scoot up here in just a second, but again, you can kind of see this enhanced risk area, slight risk area here on this particular radar. Like I said, nothing anywhere near Dallas Fort Worth, nothing really even in Texas until you get way northwest of Vernon. And speaking of which, let's just go to the Frederick, Oklahoma radar here, and hopefully this will work. We can get it to click right there. We go. So you see, this tornado watch extends all the way up into the border of Kansas. So that kind of gives you an idea of what we're dealing with. So this is again Oklahoma City's right here. Uh, if you're familiar with Oklahoma, El Reno's here. Hobart's right down here. So this is a line, and we'll put this in motion here. This is a line that's formed within really the last hour, and that is what's not this particular part of the line, but that's what's headed our way overnight. Now, like I said, the biggest threat with these storms will be the wind. Doesn't mean that you can't see a tornado with it, and that doesn't mean you can't necessarily see hail with it. It's just that the way bigger threat is going to be wind. And I don't even want to mention May 28th, but I'm not saying it's going to be exactly like that. But I think a worst case scenario would be something like that. I hope that's not the case, obviously. So this kind of gives you an idea of what's going on in Oklahoma, and you kind of expand this out a little bit. In the severe thunderstorm watch up in Kansas. So again, Dallas Fort Worth right here. Nothing to be concerned about right now, and quite frankly, I don't think we'll have anything to be concerned about till the overnight hours, and most likely not even till after 3 p.m. 3 p.m. 3 a.m. I should say. See, I'm getting tired. So the other thing I want to show you is a simulated radar from the H triple R. See if I do this right here. Go to this one. There we go. Okay, so you can see this is the H triple R model that shows thunderstorm development to the west of us, and you can kind of see this line is in Oklahoma right now. Is expected to expand down into west central Texas, and that's what would affect us. Now, again, like I always say, this is one model. It doesn't mean it's going to come true exactly like this, but we kind of go step by step here. So this is the simulated radar, projected radar, if you will, for 1 a.m. So here's 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Now, remember, this doesn't mean it's going to happen exactly like this, but it does give you a pretty good idea. That's why we're forecasting this. See, that'd be if I get my math right. Four, so late. 4 a.m. Excuse me. 5 a.m. Now, here's the thing. You see this kind of development right here, Dallas Fort Worth right here. So, this is probably the concerning part. Not again, it's not saying this is going to happen, but this would be some cells outside the line. I always tell you that, in situations like this, those are the storms you want to be concerned about. That is for sure. Now let's hope it doesn't happen exactly like that. But even if it does, it's going to move out to the northeast pretty quick. Now, again, this is H triple R. I don't know if I believe this weakening these show here, but this is 6 a.m. And if the timing were to verify, that is not good news. That's when everybody's getting up, might be going to school, might be going to work. That would be no fun. 7 a.m., 8, 9, 10, and you kind of get the picture. Now, the other model that's kind of good at this is the NAM, the short-term NAM, North American model. So I haven't even looked at this yet. So let's look at it together. Oops. Yeah, it's a little, okay. So again, you can kind of see similar. This is, my math is right. This is 1 a.m. Again, they're showing some isolated development way to the southwest of the line out in west central Texas. So again, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3, and you kind of see that line the cells that were kind of isolated out here. You can kind of see where this model's going. And there you go. That's what's going to, according to the NAM, that's what's going to affect us. So this is 6 a.m., 7, 8. So line gets kind of thin out that way. So I think that's where we're looking at. No one model is exactly right, but it's something that it's pretty good consensus on. Yes, we're going to have a line of thunderstorms move through at some point. I think if they really speed up, you're talking 4 a.m. If they slow down a little bit, you're talking 7 a.m. But right now, the prime time for this to happen would be between between 4 and 7 a.m. I would say. Obviously, the further west you are in Dallas Fort Worth, the closer to the 4 a.m. The further east you are, closer to the 7 a.m. Now, what does that mean? So, if it comes to fruition like we think it does, like the models say it is, then it is going to be rough in the sense that if we could see. You're welcome, Jessica. Jesse, sorry. um, we're going to see some winds. Probably not going to see a lot of hail. And like I said, like I said, I'm not. This is not quite the same setup we had on May 28th, but again, you don't have to have the exact same setup to have some wind damage. I'm not saying we're going to have wind damage. It's just that it's definitely that possibility. It's something that you definitely want to keep in mind. I would say this: if you have any kind of loose outdoor furniture, I would definitely secure that. You don't want that blowing around if it gets really windy. And then, like I said, after this line passes through first thing in the morning, we're done with thunderstorms. Now we have another hazard, which we'll go ahead and talk about. So after the storm system moves through, wind advisory going to be really windy tomorrow. Could see gusts of 50 miles an hour. I don't think everybody will see that, obviously, but some of us could. And so we have a wind advisory in effect until 9 o'clock tomorrow night. So regardless of what it does from a thunderstorm standpoint, it is going to be windy tomorrow. We know that much for sure. And if they don't get a lot of rain out in West Texas, then maybe seeing quite a bit of dust that comes with that. So if you are sensitive to dust, keep that in mind tomorrow if you're going to be outside. All right. So as far as tonight goes, I want to. I can't. I wish I didn't bring it with me. I can't emphasize this enough, especially tonight. So you need a way to receive a warning when you're asleep. Um, Believe me, I'll be the first one to tell you. Even though I love the weather, I love keeping everybody up to date on the weather. I like my sleep probably just a little bit better, but you don't want to sacrifice your safety for your sleep. So this is kind of a nice graphic the Weather Service puts together. And it's the 6 ways to receive a warning. Now you can kind of see there that the top left is the NOAA weather radio. I preach this and preach this. If you don't have one, you can message me. I'll shoot you an Amazon link. I don't get anything off of it for full disclosure, but it's because your phones die, your cell network goes down. The cell phone is a great way to receive warnings, but you can't depend on that solely. NOAA weather radios are everyone I see that you can buy are sure you can plug them in, but they have a battery backup, and it is going to wake you up if you set it right. And by the way, you don't have to be the weather nerd like me to where it's going to go off within any part of the county warning area, which is about 7 or 8 counties. That's for the nerd in me. I don't care about that. But if you don't want to be woken up by a severe thunderstorm warning for Parker County, or Denton County if you don't live in Denton, then you don't have to set it that way. You could just set it for your county. Dallas, just for Collin, just for Tarrant, wherever you live. But if that weather radio goes off at night, you need to know why. Like I said, it's not predicting gloom and doom tonight, but it could be rough. We just don't know. But the other ways, of course, like I said, if not failing that, you can have your phone. Again, you got that depends on the cell signal, Wi-Fi, power. Sometimes, if you got a laptop with a battery, great. That's another way. Of course, if you got your local TV and radio, that's a good way to do it. Outdoor sirens are a little misleading here because outdoor sirens are what they're exactly designed for, outdoor, and you're not really. It's not really designed for you to hear them indoors. A lot of us do, but that's not what they're designed for. So you can't solely depend on that. And most cities around here will only set off the sirens if obviously there's a tornado warning, or if there's really big hail, or if winds are typically greater than 70 miles an hour. Yeah, but again, if you're asleep in your house with a lot of other noise inside, you're not going to hear those outdoor sirens anyway. So, and of course, the other thing is if you're awakened by the weather or warning, and you kind of figure out what's going on, then yeah, you need to tell your family and friends. Shoot them a text, wake them up. Especially if something's headed their way. But if we do have severe weather overnight, like I said, just obviously it kind of goes without saying, but seek shelter in a strong building, stay away from your windows. If you're outside driving, don't stop under overpasses. That's a bad news thing. Don't do that. So again, if you need more information about, matter of fact, I'm going to do this real quick. I think I can put a link in the chat. I think this will work. And there's a lot of different kinds of weather radios. So this is obviously not the end all be all. It's a start. All right, let's see if I can do this. Okay, I don't know if y'all got it or not, but I put it as a host. I'm not sure. Hopefully, I got that. If not, message me. I'll give it to you. Okay. I can't. Okay, I can't post it to every channel. Okay, so if you're watching on Facebook, just message me. I'll give it to you. Okay, so again, before you go to bed tonight, if you don't have a weather radio, make sure you have a way to get warnings. All right, so let's go back to the radar here. Yeah, I don't want to go there. I want to go. Well, I guess while we're here, I mean, here's what I'm here's a link I sent you. Um, if you watch this later, you can pause the video. All right, so let's do this. Let's go back to the other screen. Here we go. Okay, so like I said, in this, don't know. Nope, it's not gonna show up. Let me. What is that tornado watch effective for? Let's see. Oh, 5 a.m. Okay, so this tornado watch is in effect till 5 a.m. It is with almost certainty that there will be another tornado watch issued. What time is it now? A little after 10:30. Yeah, probably after midnight, maybe 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and it will include Dallas Fort Worth. And again, it'll be a tornado watch because of the possibility to spin up tornadoes. And then, of course, with the tornado watch, you could still have severe thunderstorms. And in this case, it's not so much a hail threat; it's a gusty, damaging wind threat over 60 miles an hour. Hopefully, that does not come into play for very many people at excuse me, at all. Whew, I had counsel tonight. It was a long night. All right, so I don't see really anything in the chat, so I know it's late. So I certainly appreciate the fact that people are probably just watching instead of commenting. Or if you're watching on X, then you can't comment anyway. So if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, you can comment if you want to before I sign off. But again, let's look at the radars a little closer here. All right. So this again, if you're just joining us, this is not North Texas. This is Oklahoma, and line thunderstorms, severe. Really, they're all severe. Let's see, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, half dollar size hail. We just had our first tornado warning. And that again, if you're just joining us, this tornado warning is not for North. Oh, we got more than one. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's see. This is up in Oklahoma. Just FYI. Radar indicated tornado. Let's see. This what this one is. This is so if you do have family and friends west of Oklahoma City, or I guess really in Oklahoma City, you might want to give them a heads up. Tornado and golf ball size hail. Let me put the velocity on here. But you know what? Let's go to Oklahoma City radar. This probably do us better. Probably give us a better look. And a little rotation there. Not too terrible. But yeah, so that's what they're experiencing in Oklahoma. Again, Oklahoma City being right here. That is something that we will have to keep an eye on as we go into the evening hours here. All right. So this is the Dallas Fort Worth radar. Again, you can see this way up northwest of Vernon, Quanah, up near Childress. So a long way from us. I think if we put this in motion, yeah, it's probably not going to show a whole lot there. But again, What we want to watch out for is for the models we showed earlier is that we want to watch for development down here. And we don't see anything now. Not this, we probably will though. You kind of see how the slight risk is kind of curve back down to the southwest. That's what they're anticipating that some of the storms, um, you know, will form here and then, whoops, and then move this way. And that's kind of what we want to watch out. Yes. Okay, go message your friend Angela. That is for sure. It's there in Oklahoma. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. And again, glad you made it back home safely today. All right, so I don't see anything else in the chat, and it's late. And if we're going to be woken up tomorrow, it's probably not a bad idea to go to bed. Even if you stay up late. So the bottom line is this: if you're just joining us, you can certainly rewatch this. I would Here's the takeaways for tonight. Again, this is the everything in yellow you see is tornado watch. That tornado watch is in effect until 5 a.m. So that includes Dallas Fort Worth for now, but I can almost promise you that it's going to be another watch is going to be issued south and east of that. That will include Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex. And so our main hazards for DFW, based on the forecast, is damaging wind gusts, spin up tornadoes. We've seen a couple of warnings already in Oklahoma, and hail to a lesser extent. And right now, the timing could be anywhere from the western part of Metroplex 4 a.m. If it really speeds up, it'd be sooner. Although in as late as 7 a.m. Anytime within that time frame, um, you know, I will. I mean, you could see some bad weather. Now, hopefully, this is the case. Like I always like to say, is that not everybody will see severe weather. I hope that's the case. I hope that this solid line. I hope they don't get everybody. But again, I just want to, it's late, but I wanted to come on. This is really our first big severe weather potential of the spring, and it's March the 3rd, so it's a long spring ahead. So, but again, this is just, being in the middle of the night when everybody's asleep. Like I said, I hope it's not as bad as they it could be. But when you're asleep and you wake up, you don't have a lot of time to do stuff potentially. So I'm going to stay on top of it. I will tell you this: if it's assuming that it's not really really bad, I don't have power or anything. I will come on and do a live stream and tell you what's going on. That may be early in the morning. I hope it's not too early, but it is what it is. I want to keep everybody up to date. And with that, I don't see anything else in the chat, so I am going to sign off. I really, really appreciate everybody tuning in. And again, stay alert. Jesse, I got your instant message. I will send that link to you for the weather radio. And like I said, since I couldn't put it in the chat for everybody, if you want to know what the weather radio was, I talked about earlier, the link to it on Amazon. No conversation for me. I will send that to you because again, and obviously you're not gonna have it for tonight, but it's something that you just need for a future. You just because if all else fails, you want to be able to have that. Okay, well, thanks for watching, everyone, and as always, I'm watching the weather, so you don't have to. Hope everyone has a peaceful night, weather-wise and otherwise. And I will be back on if needed early tomorrow morning. Have a good one, everyone, and we will talk to you soon.